life with Tao. Many a time your spouse is not only of this life. Many a time your spouse is not only of this life. They both are living embodiments of each other's past karma and understanding. Life is lived on deep understanding, and when there is a deep understanding, you do not have the residue karma or impressions. When it is lived without deep understanding, unconsciously, every action and reaction creates an impression. This remains ingrained in your memory as past karmas, and your life is guided by those past karmas. As such words overflowed, each present felt a deep turmoil within. The flame of lamp was flickering gently, and the disciples could not understand how a person can be an embodiment or manifestation of accumulated actions. The flame of the lamp was flickering gently, and the disciples could not understand how a person can be an embodiment or manifestation of accumulated actions. An understanding that shapes the entire life. Once you understand this phenomenon, your life becomes a garden of, as if the season of spring has come. Shankar narrated a story to explain how he was explaining something much deeper than the surface. Shankar narrated a story to explain how he was explaining something much deeper than the surface. Union is never of two bodies alone. Remember this. Union is never of two bodies alone. The way of existence is much deeper and beyond human cognition. The way of existence is much deeper and beyond human cognition. Many a times two beings or soul remain incomplete for lives. Many a times two beings or two souls remain incomplete for lives, and they come together to pay off or clear past debts or obligations. The love or the bond of intimacy you both are feeling for each other, or the feeling of intimacy that brought you both together, closer, may be the outcome of past promise, and the pain that you are undergoing now in this life may be the outcome of your some past forgotten actions. the love or the bond of intimacy that you both feel for each other, or the feeling of intimacy that brought both of you together closer, may be the outcome of past promise, or the pain that you are undergoing in this life through this in relationship between you and your spouse, may be the outcome of some past forgotten actions. Disciples were all listening attentively, but this response gave birth to another question. Another question: if this be so, that means, does each partner has a mystery hidden deep within? Certainly. There is a mystery hidden deep within each one of you. To respond this, Shankar posed a question. Have you ever seen that certain couples can make the other communicate or understand the other without the use of words? Simply silence or silent communion, or a look or a gesture is more than enough to communicate. At the same time, there are partners who are together lifelong, yet still remain strangers to one another, and nothing ever clicks. With some, in just a glance, everything clicks, and the entire skyograph surfaces in front of you like an open book, as if you are seeing yourself far beyond and further. Hearing this, such is not the case of difference in nature. Such is not the case of difference in nature. Really, when two souls meet, they bring with them subtle seeds of past memories. Really, when two souls meet, they bring with them subtle seeds of past memories. Bodies change, faces too change, but never the deeper, subtle sanskars, as Sanatan Sanskriti calls it, or impressions engraved within. These engraved impressions each brings with him when he enters the new life. Hearing this, one seeker remembered his first meeting with his wife. The experience of the first meeting suddenly flashed in front of his eyes when he felt that he knew this woman before. Night was getting intense. Sound of cricket and owl was heard in distance. In the silence, Shankar continued, "You will be surprised to know that love is not the basis of each relationship." You will be surprised to know, Shankar said, love is not the basis of each relationship. Certainly, relationships develop because of justice. The seeker got startled with this response. Justice? The surprised seeker murmured. And Shankar nodded his head in affirmation. Yes, justice. Certainly, existence never comes with a sword to punish somebody. Existence always appears as relationships, sometimes as a friend, other times as a son or daughter, or wife or husband. Whatever seeds of action you sowed unconsciously will one day appear before you as an alive person. Whatever seeds you have sown unconsciously will one day appear before you as an alive person. Hearing this, an unknown fear filled their hearts. Then Shankar narrated the story of a person who always used to remain angry with his wife. He used to feel that his wife always opposes him, and for years he continued to blame her for all that was happening in his life. Then one day, a realized yogi told the person in the past life he was an influential businessman who never cared for the wishes of his wife. Answer: who never cared for the wishes of his wife. Answers sowed the seeds of negligence, always and never respected the wishes of his wife. And now the same seed has blossomed in such an experience. Now, Shankar further continued that karmas does not always return as events. Karma does not always return as events. At times, karma, the past impressions, return as embodied self. With these words, it seems as if a veil is removed from a hidden way of existence. Also, the cold air was making things even more intense. Everyone was listening to Shankar even more attentively. Shankar continued. This does not mean that being each miserable relationship, this does not mean that each miserable relationship is the outcome of a specific punishment. Everyone was listening to Shankar attentively. And Shankar continued, this does not mean that each miserable relationship is the outcome of a specific punishment. Sometimes two souls meet for transformation. Sometimes two souls meet for transformation, and they unite to awaken each other or one another. Sometimes they unite to awaken each other or another person. Their togetherness awakens someone else. And the soul at times challenges the other, challenges each other. The soul challenges each other. Soul dissolves the ego sense, surfaces your shortcomings, and you think it is punishing you. Instead, soul is working deeply, indirectly, for your liberation from the bondage of the impressions that you had been carrying life after life. This was so unique that certain seekers could not accept it immediately. When something like this happens, you fail to recognize it or accept it immediately. One of them inquired, "This means wife or spouse and husband or spouse in this is the outcome of our unconscious actions? And if it be so, can one change the destiny?" One of them inquired further, "This means the wife or spouse or husband or spouse is the outcome of our unconscious actions or impressions. Can one change one's destiny?" Shankar remained quiet for some time. Then, with a smile, he continued, "The relationship between fate and action is like between seed and tree. The seed is sown in the past. However, how and in what way the tree shall grow is still in your hands. It depends upon the nourishment that you provide, the way you take care of the growth process of the tree from seed to the tree." Shankar further explained, relationships are never permanent. If both souls are awakened, they can break the chains or bondages of past unconscious karma. However, if both souls continue to live in ignorance, as usually happens in the cases that we see around, then the same cycle continues. This gave rise to another question. Does this mean most of the people repeat past karmas in their current marital relationship? In response, Shankar told, once he saw a couple, between them there was no romantic story. It was not unusual at all. However, when the wife died, the husband felt as if a significant part of him has died with her. Shankar said, certain souls journey together for so long that they become part of each other's growth. They become part of each other's growth. or growth journey. They do not complement each other, but they help each other to reach the self. Still, another secret was hidden there, a mystery that was going to bemuse them. Disciples inquired, does each partner or husband or wife are connected to each other because of the past life or lives? Shankar remained silent for a short while, as he could not respond in affirmation or negation. Instead, he explained, quite often two souls meet for the first time, and even the first meeting does not create attraction or resistance or opposition all of a sudden. The journey should be long, that human intelligence cannot understand all aspects and mysteries of the soul. Certain relationships blossom to pay off debts, while others blossom to protect. Still, certain blossom to fulfill certain specific karma. As a result, no relationship can really be understood on the surface alone. What is your relationship with me, or your relationship with your spouse, cannot be understood on the surface. As a result, no relationship can really be understood on the surface alone. Slowly and slowly, the seeker began to realize that the society has rendered the meaning of marriage and relationship so simple. Really, the meaning is not as simple as it appears to be. It is much deeper. And unless you go below the surface to the inner depth, you will not be able to understand why you and your spouse are brought together. Let us pause here. As Shankar paused to continue the further explanations, let us pause until we meet again. Take care.